You've done everything right. You bought the blackout curtains. You cut the caffeine after noon. You downloaded the sleep app, tracked your stages, tried melatonin, tried magnesium, tried the white noise machine at 3 different volumes. And you still wake up at 2 a.m. staring at the ceiling like it owes you an explanation. Here's what nobody is telling you, and I mean nobody, is that everything you've tried is probably correct. The advice isn't wrong. The order is wrong. You've been stacking sleep tips on top of a broken foundation, and that's exactly why nothing sticks. Think about it this way. If your house has a cracked foundation, it doesn't matter how beautiful the wallpaper is. The cracks keep coming back. That's what's happening to your sleep right now. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what that foundation is, why yours is almost certainly damaged, and the precise sequence you need to follow to actually fix it permanently. This is the video I wish existed the first time I stayed awake until 4 a.m., exhausted beyond words, completely unable to understand why my body wouldn't do the one thing it was literally designed to do. Stay with me, because what comes next changes everything. Let's start with the most important thing I want you to understand today. Your sleep isn't broken. Your sleep system is miscalibrated. There's a massive difference between those two things, and that difference determines whether you keep collecting sleep tips forever or whether you actually solve this once and for all. Here's what I mean. Your body runs on a 24-hour internal clock called your circadian rhythm. This isn't a metaphor. It's a literal biological timing system driven by a cluster of about 20,000 neurons in your brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus. Yes, I know that's a mouthful, but here's why it matters. That tiny cluster of neurons controls not just when you feel sleepy, but when your body releases hormones, when your core temperature drops, when your immune system activates, when your cells repair themselves. Sleep is not a single event. It's a timed cascade of biological processes, and every single one of them depends on your circadian clock firing in the right sequence at the right time. So when that clock gets disrupted by irregular schedules, artificial light, stress, alcohol, late-night eating, the whole cascade falls apart. You feel tired, but you can't sleep. You fall asleep, but you wake up 2 hours later. You sleep 8 hours, but feel like you slept 3. Sound familiar? That's not a sleep problem. That's a timing problem. And because of that, the very first thing you need to fix before any supplement, before any bedtime routine, before any breathing exercise is your biological clock. So let me walk you through exactly how to do that. The anchor that holds your entire sleep system together is your wake time, not your bedtime, your wake time. This is the single most underrated insight in all of sleep science, and almost no one talks about it. Here's why. Your circadian rhythm is anchored by light hitting your retinas in the morning. When morning light enters your eyes, your brain gets a precise timestamp. It is now morning. This is time 0. And it uses that signal to schedule everything that follows, including exactly when melatonin will rise that evening, which is roughly 14 to 16 hours later. So if you want to fall asleep at 10:30 p.m., you need to wake up and get outside light consistently around 6:30 to 7 a.m. If some days you wake at 6:30 and other days you sleep in until 9, your brain receives a completely different timestamp each morning. It literally doesn't know when to start the melatonin countdown. And that's why you lie in bed wide awake at 11 p.m. even when you're completely exhausted. This is why fixing how to fix your sleep schedule always starts with the same non-negotiable rule. Lock your wake time first. Set it. Keep it, even on weekends. I know, that one hurts. But here's what's incredible. Within just 3 to 5 days of consistent wake time, most people start noticing that they naturally begin feeling sleepy around the same time each night. The body wants to sync.
You just have to give it a consistent anchor point to work from.
Now, once you've stabilized that anchor, and not before, this is where the morning light protocol becomes your most powerful tool. Within 30 to 60 minutes of waking, get outside. No sunglasses, no looking directly at the sun, obviously. Just get your eyes exposed to natural outdoor light for 10 to 20 minutes. Even on a cloudy day, outdoor light is dramatically brighter than indoor lighting. We're talking 10,000 to 100,000 lux outside versus maybe 200 to 500 lux inside your home. That difference is enormous to your brain's timing system. This single morning habit, consistent wake time plus outdoor light exposure, is what neuroscientist Dr. Andrew Huberman describes as the most evidence-backed, zero-cost intervention for optimizing circadian rhythm and sleep quality. And it works. But here's what most people completely miss. Morning is only half the equation. Your brain doesn't just need a start signal, it needs a shutdown signal too. And this is where most people's sleep systems completely fall apart. Think about a typical evening. You finish dinner, maybe around 7 or 8 p.m. You watch TV or scroll your phone. The overhead lights are blazing. Your brain is receiving the exact same light signal it received at noon, which biologically translates to, it is still daytime, do not release melatonin. Your internal clock is stuck. It hasn't gotten the signal that night is coming. So when you finally climb into bed at 11 p.m., tired, frustrated, ready to sleep, your brain is essentially operating in biological noon. No wonder you're staring at the ceiling. Here's the fix, and it's simpler than you think. In the 2 hours before bed, you need to dramatically reduce your light exposure, especially blue and green wavelength light, which are the specific wavelengths that suppress melatonin production most aggressively. This means dim your overhead lights, switch to lamps, lower them as much as possible. Switch your screens to night mode, or better yet, put them away entirely in that final hour. Avoid bright overhead lighting in bathrooms. Yes, that aggressive bathroom light you're hitting right before bed is actively delaying your melatonin release. Research from Harvard Medical School found that exposure to blue light before bed shifts your melatonin release by up to 3 hours. 3 hours! That means if you're on your phone in a bright room until 11 p.m., your body may not start producing melatonin until 2 a.m., no matter how tired you feel. This is crazy. The problem isn't that you can't fall asleep. The problem is that biologically, your body isn't even being allowed to start the sleep process. And because of that, everything else you try, the supplements, the breathing techniques, the sleep trackers, is working upstream against your own biology. Fix the light environment first. Then the rest starts working. Now, alongside that light management, there's another factor that most people overlook almost completely, and it's the reason you can do everything else right and still struggle to wind down. Your core body temperature needs to drop by about 1 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit to initiate sleep. This isn't optional. It's a hard biological requirement. Your body starts this process naturally a few hours before your scheduled sleep time, but only if your environment cooperates. Here's the issue. If your bedroom is warm, if you took a hot shower immediately before bed, if you did intense exercise within 3 hours of sleep, you've actively blocked that temperature drop from happening on schedule. So what do? Keep your bedroom between 65 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Most people sleep too warm. This one adjustment alone, just dropping the thermostat, produces measurable improvements in deep sleep and sleep onset time. Not only that, here's something that surprises most people. A warm shower or bath 60 to 90 minutes before bed actually helps you fall asleep faster. Why? Because when you get out of a warm shower, blood rushes to your skin surface to release that heat. Your core body temperature drops rapidly, and that drop is exactly the signal your brain uses to say, time to sleep.
A 2019 meta-analysis in Sleep Medicine Reviews confirmed that warm bathing 1 to 2 hours before bed improved sleep onset by an average of 10 minutes and sleep quality significantly without any medication. 10 minutes faster to fall asleep, better quality sleep, zero cost, zero side effects. That's the kind of protocol that actually belongs in your sleep system. Now we've handled your wake anchor, your light environment, and your temperature, and here's what I want you to notice. We haven't touched a single supplement yet. We haven't done a breathing exercise. We haven't talked about journaling or gratitude or any of those things, because none of those will work reliably if the foundation isn't in place first. But the surprise is, once your foundation is solid, those tools become incredibly powerful. So let's talk about the one that makes the biggest difference once your rhythm is stabilized. Stress and cortisol? Here's what happens to most high performers, most burned out professionals, most people lying awake at midnight running tomorrow's to-do list in their head. Your cortisol, your primary stress hormone, has a natural rhythm. It's supposed to peak sharply in the morning, giving you energy and alertness, then taper down gradually through the day, reaching its lowest point in the evening so melatonin can rise. But chronic stress, tight deadlines, financial pressure, relationship tension, even just reading the news disrupts that rhythm. Cortisol stays elevated into the evening, and elevated evening cortisol directly blocks melatonin production. This is why you feel tired but wired. Your body is physically exhausted, your sleep pressure is enormous, but your nervous system is still running on high alert. You're stuck between two competing biological states, and neither one is winning. The fix here isn't just relax more. That advice is completely useless on its own. What actually works is creating a physiological transition between your active, alert daytime state and your restful nighttime state. And the most effective way to do that is what sleep researchers call a wind-down protocol.
Here's exactly what that looks like in practice. Starting 90 minutes before your target bedtime, you begin a 3-stage descent. First thing, cut stimulation. No more work email, no more news, no more social media. Your nervous system needs a clear signal that the high alert portion of the day is over. This isn't about being rigid, it's about giving your biology what it needs to shift gears. Next, do something that's genuinely low effort and slightly boring. I know that sounds strange, but hear me out. Your brain consolidates and prepares for sleep during mild understimulation. Light reading, not a thriller, not anything emotionally intense. A calm conversation, a short, slow walk. Stretching, not intense yoga, just gentle movement. These activities signal to your nervous system the day is winding down, there is no threat, it is safe to relax. Then, in that final 30 minutes, the goal is to simply exist without agenda. Dim light, comfortable temperature, no screens. Your body will do the rest because you've set up every upstream condition correctly. This is the part most people rush or skip entirely. They try to go from full-speed work mode straight to sleep in about 15 minutes, and then wonder why it takes an hour to fall asleep. That's not insomnia. That's just biology. You can't sprint to the finish line and expect to stop instantly. You need a deceleration lane. Now, you might be wondering, what about supplements? Magnesium glycinate, specifically the glycinate form, genuinely helps. Research shows it activates GABA receptors in the brain, the same calming pathway that sleep medications target, but gently and without dependency. 200 to 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate taken 30 to 60 minutes before bed is one of the few supplements with solid evidence behind it. But remember, it works with your system, not instead of it. If your circadian rhythm is chaotic, if your light environment is working against you, magnesium will give you marginal results at best. Fix the foundation, then layer in the tools. That's the sequence, that's the system. Here's what I want you to take away from everything we've covered today. Your consistent wake time is the anchor.
Your morning light exposure sets the clock. Your evening light reduction allows melatonin to rise on schedule. Your bedroom temperature creates the physical conditions your body needs. Your wind-down protocol bridges your active day to your restful night. And your cortisol rhythm, managed through structure, not willpower, stops that tired but wired feeling from sabotaging all of it. These aren't random tips, they're a sequence. Each one builds on the last. And when you run them in the right order, something almost magical happens. Sleep stops being a struggle and starts being something your body does naturally, automatically, the way it was always designed to. If this finally made something click for you, if you've been collecting sleep tips for months and this is the first time someone explained why the system matters more than the tips, do me a favor and hit subscribe right now. Every single week on this channel, we go deeper into the science of sleep and turn it into systems you can actually use tonight. No fluff, no vague advice, just protocols that work. And if you want to keep going right now, the next video you should watch is our 7-day sleep reset. It takes everything we talked about today and gives you a day-by-day protocol to fully recalibrate your sleep system from scratch. I'll see you there.